Hello and welcome. In this guide, I'm going to go over the Move Up Buyer Playbook. Now, this playbook has three different parts, three different strategies that go into it. First is sell first, then buy, then buy first, then sell, or do both simultaneously. This guide is for people who are currently homeowners and are looking to either transition into a new house, whether that be a smaller house, bigger house, different setup, anything of that nature. So this guide is specifically for you. Now, first we'll get into sell first, then buy. Sell first, then buy is a great way for people who need the equity in their home. They don't necessarily want to take out another mortgage or a HELOC or some other kind of lien against them, or mortgage or loan. They really just want to take care of the first item and then move on. Now, what this does incur is it does incur, two moves, or bring in, a moving company twice, however you're gonna do that. But it is the safest way, per se. That way your house sold, it's sold for what you want, all the numbers are correct there, and then you can take everything that you have there and then take it and buy. Now, depending on your situation, that may lock you down on how long you can look to buy, if you have to sign a lease for an apartment or rent out another place. And so it does get a little tricky, completely selling, getting through that process, getting close, and then starting to look for a house. Now, the second option is buy first, then sell. Now, buy first, then sell it is a great option, but it does incur that extra amount of lending. There's pulling a HELOC off of your current home and then using the funds from the HELOC and maybe another mortgage, like a second mortgage, or if you don't have that first home, primary home paid off, and then purchasing another home. And the banks, they have a lot of products, they have a lot of different ways to look at it, and you can get decent rates. I'm helping a client right now who's doing that exactly. She wanted the ability to find something that she really wanted, and that it fit her needs as well as possible. And which is a great thing, honestly, because it gives you the flexibility of having the time to find something that is what you want. And that's important. If you're going to spend the next decade or longer in the home you're going to purchase, it might as well be the one that you actually want. And depending on the market, there may be not a lot of choices. Maybe you're looking in a specific geographical area, and that's going to really limit how many homes will fit. Say you're getting older and you want a ranch. There's only so many ranches out there. Out of all the homes on the market, there's probably a third of them are ranches. So there's not as many as you'd think on the market. So when you limit neighborhood, area, like town, and then find a neighborhood within a town, and then all of the other things that you might, you have to have in a home, it's going to really narrow you down. So having that ability to find a home that fits as perfectly as possible is going to be a huge benefit to you. But you are going to incur some extra costs because of the other loans and stuff you're gonna have to pull in order to close on the home purchase. And then you're gonna have to have a lot of faith in, hey, my home is gonna sell. I'm okay with it selling for a little less than what I'm hoping for. Or you gotta have some flexibility there, especially in this market. There's so many choices. There's so many, and when you're on the buy side, you'll understand that. You'll understand that. Holy cow, there's 30 homes we can go look at. They're all fit in my criteria. Maybe not when you narrow down to a specific neighborhood, but generally, I mean, in Parker, I can find 30 homes for you at 650,000 that are updated and really nice. That's a lot. And so on a normal market, you would probably find half that. So, anyways, there are pros and cons to both strategy, but the best thing you can do is know your options, kind of try to narrow down which strategy you want to go for, and then understand how much your home is worth before you start going, fully into this. The market is an interesting market. We are in an interesting times, and it's a great time to buy and a difficult time to sell right now. That's just the reality of the situation we're in. Now, strategy number 3 is do both simultaneously. So typically what that would look like is you put your home on the market, you get it listed, maybe you're under contract and you're through inspection. So you've jumped that big hurdle. There are basically 2 big hurdles when selling a home. First is inspection, second is appraisal. If you can get past both of those, you'll have a much higher probability of going to the closing table. And if the agents are good on both sides, then it will get there. So you get through inspection, and then you start looking for a home, and maybe you put an offer on a house. Now, typically, what's going to happen is to have it line up perfectly where you close on the house you're purchasing maybe 3 days after you close on the house that you are selling. That's super tricky, and to be honest, it takes a lot of luck and a lot of flexibility on both the buyer and seller's part of making sure that can happen. And so in this market, having that happen is extremely unlikely and challenging, to say the least, because you've got to be very flexible on price when you sell. The buying part is not as hard. We are in a buyer's market. Buyers are asking for things that they can get away with, honestly. And when you sell, you've got to have that flexibility there. So those are the 3 strategies, or not sell at all, and just deal with what you have, or maybe you renovate or upgrade some things to make it fit your current lifestyle and make it work. But there's another guide, another video that I'm going to do that will go over things that you really can't change, things that's just too costly or ineffective or not even possible. So the Move Up Buyer Playbook is a great way to just figure out, okay, what is the best option? What's the best strategy? How do we move forward? And what do we do from here? So having the right agent obviously is ideal, and I do it for clients all the time. I meet with them and I give them the lowdown. I give them the honest truth. Here's what you should do if you want to stay. Here's what you should do if you're financially in this position where you can buy first or and sell later, whatever. I always recommend, if you're gonna move into something that you're gonna live with for the next decade, that should be your priority. That should be where you focus on getting what you really want, and then having a little bit more flexibility on the sell side. In a balanced market, yeah, same thing holds true. You should be looking for something that it's gonna be harder to get a house, harder to get under contract. You're not gonna get away with as much. You're not gonna get that big discount on purchase price. So ideally it's best to have that taken care of first, and then get under contract. Maybe push for a little bit longer days if you can, and then give yourself a little bit of time for selling your home. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'd love to help you in any way I can. Thank you.